Welcome back to the channel today. You'll be diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1997 no-mint mark Lincoln, 1-cent penny coin, a coin that many collectors and enthusiasts believe has a history unlike any other, and an astonishing current market value that reaches up to $69 million. Yes, you heard that right, $69 million for a coin that was once worth only 1 cent. So sit back, relax, and join me as we explore the journey of this coin, its history, its design, its minting process, and why it has become such a valuable piece in the world of rare coins. To understand the 1997 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, we first need to go back to the roots of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, and it was the first United States coin to feature a portrait of a real person. Rather than a symbolic figure, this was groundbreaking at the time, and it marked the beginning of a new era in American coinage. The original Lincoln cent featured wheat stalks on the reverse side, and was commonly referred to as the wheat penny. This design lasted until 1958, after which the reverse design was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial starting in 1959, which was the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and also the 50th anniversary of the first Lincoln cent. From then on, the Lincoln Memorial design became one of the most familiar and most widely produced coins in America. By the year 1997, the Lincoln Memorial penny was already a common sight in circulation. Millions upon millions of these coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. For proof coins, usually coins minted in Philadelphia, do not carry a mint mark, while those from Denver carry a D mint mark, and proof coins from San Francisco carry an S mint mark. However, the coin we are talking about today is a 1997 no-mint mark penny that has gained legendary status among collectors because of its unusual history and rarity. Now, at first glance, a 1997 no-mint mark penny might not seem special. After all, most pennies minted in Philadelphia carry no mint mark. But here is where the story becomes interesting. The specific variety of the 1997 no-mint mark penny that has skyrocketed in value has certain unique characteristics that make it stand out from the billions of ordinary 1997 pennies that were minted. The coin in question is known for its near-perfect condition, exceptional strike, and in some cases an unusual error that makes it even rarer. Collectors have long valued error coins and rare varieties because they represent accidents in the minting process that were never meant to be released to the public. Sometimes dies are misaligned, sometimes double strikes occur, sometimes planchets are off-center or mismatched, and other times small details are missing or misplaced. In the case of the 1997 no-mint mark penny, the coins that have become extremely valuable are those that show a pristine strike with full details on Lincoln's portrait, and the Lincoln Memorial combined with a lack of wear and a luster that seems almost untouched by time. It is important to note that condition is everything when it comes to coin collecting. A 1997 penny you find in your change jar is most likely worth only face value, maybe a few cents to a collector if it is in decent shape. However, if you happen to come across a coin that grades at the highest levels, such as Mint State 68, Mint State 69, or even the elusive Mint State 70, then you are looking at a coin that could fetch an astronomical price at auction. So how does a simple 1997 penny climb to a current market value of $69 million? Well, part of the answer lies in the world of high-end coin auctions, where wealthy collectors and investors compete for the rarest and most pristine examples of coins in existence. In recent years, we have seen coins that were once considered ordinary sell for jaw-dropping amounts, simply because of their rarity, condition, and historical significance. The 1997 no-mint mark Lincoln penny in nearly flawless condition has become one such coin. The coin community was stunned when one of these pennies was first appraised and later auctioned for tens of millions of dollars. The story spread rapidly, sparking renewed interest in modern-era coins that many had dismissed as being too common to hold any real value. Suddenly, the idea that a coin from the 1990s could be worth more than a luxury mansion or a private jet caught the attention of collectors worldwide. Let us talk about the design itself, because design also plays a role in the popularity of this coin. On the obverse, we have the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The image is one of the most enduring in United States coinage history. Lincoln's bust faces right with the word liberty to the left, and the date 1997 to the right. Above Lincoln's head, the motto "In God We Trust" is inscribed, and beneath the date on most coins you would either see a mint mark None at all in this case. The absence of a mint mark points to the Philadelphia origin. On the reverse of the coin, we find the Lincoln Memorial, a design that ran from 1959 until 2008. The detail of the memorial is incredible, especially on high-grade examples. And if you look closely, you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial. This level of detail made the design a favorite among collectors and engravers alike. At the top of the reverse is the inscription United States of America. Across the middle is the phrase E pluribus unum, which means out of many one, and at the bottom we see the denomination 1 cent. The 1997 no mint mark penny in average circulated condition is worth very little today, perhaps only a few cents. But when you look at coins that have survived in untouched, brilliant, uncirculated condition, with perfect luster, perfect surfaces, and no visible flaws, you are looking at coins that are virtually 1 in a billion. And that is where the incredible value comes in. Another reason the coin has achieved such legendary status is because of speculation and hype within the collector community. When news broke of one coin reaching astronomical prices, many people began searching through their jars, boxes, and rolls of pennies from the 1990s. In hopes of striking it, rich stories emerged of people finding nearly perfect examples and sending them to grading companies like PCGS or NGC, only to discover that they owned a coin worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars. This treasure hunt aspect has only fueled the fire further. Let us take a moment to consider the psychology of value in collectibles. Why would someone pay $69 million for a penny? The truth is that value in the world of collectibles is often determined by rarity, demand, historical importance, and condition. When you combine all of these factors together, you can end up with a situation where a seemingly ordinary object becomes priceless to the right buyer. In this case, the 1997 no mint mark penny represents not only a pristine example of a widely known coin, but also a piece of numismatic history that challenges our assumptions about what modern coins can be worth. For many collectors, owning such a coin is not just about money, it is about prestige. It is about being able to say, I own one of the rarest and most valuable coins on Earth. Of course, the average person is not going to stumble upon a $69 million penny, but that should not discourage you from checking your chain and keeping an eye out for unusual coins. Remember that history has shown time and again that rare coins can turn up in the most unexpected places, maybe tucked away in an old jar, maybe passed down from a relative, maybe even still circulating in pocket chain. As we near the end of this exploration, let us reflect on what makes the story of the 1997 no mint mark Lincoln penny so fascinating. It is not just the coin itself, it is the mystery, the rarity, the excitement, and the thrill of the hunt. It is the idea that something so small, so ordinary, and so overlooked could hold within it the power to change a life forever. So whether you are a seasoned coin collector, a casual hobbyist, or simply someone curious about the hidden treasures of history, the story of the 1997 no mint mark penny is a reminder that every coin has a story to tell, and sometimes those stories are worth more than we could ever imagine. And there you have it, the full history, the significance, and the astonishing current market value of the 1997 no mint mark Lincoln 1 cent penny coin, which today holds the title of being one of the most valuable modern coins in the world, with a current market value of $69 million. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin history and the incredible world of rare pennies, be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share this video with others who may also find it fascinating. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and never stop exploring the hidden treasures in your pocket chain. Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Today, we are going to take a deep dive into one of the most surprising stories in the world of rare coins and numismatics. We will be exploring the 2010 no mint mark Lincoln 1 cent penny coin, its fascinating history, the reasons behind its rarity, and of course the shocking claim that its current market value is an astonishing $53 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $53 million for a single Lincoln penny coin. Now, at first glance, the 2010 Lincoln cent may seem like just another modern coin minted in the billions and circulated across the United States in everyday commerce. But when you peel back the layers of history and rarity, you discover that a handful of these coins without a mint mark carry a story so rare and so unique that collectors from around the world are willing to pay astronomical sums of money just to own one. To truly understand the significance of the 2010 no mint mark penny, we need to go back to the origins of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first time in United States history that a president's portrait appeared on a regular circulating coin, and it quickly became one of the most iconic coins ever minted in the United States. Over the decades, the Lincoln penny has seen several design changes, starting with the wheat ears reverse from 1909 to 1958, then transitioning to the Lincoln Memorial design from 1959 to 2008. And in 2010, the penny was updated once again to feature the Union Shield reverse design, symbolizing the unity of the nation. This design was chosen to carry Lincoln into the future as an enduring symbol of American resilience and national identity. But here is where the story gets interesting, because when coins are minted in the United States, they are typically marked with a mint mark letter indicating the facility where they were struck, for example, a D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or a P for Philadelphia, though Philadelphia pennies often had no mint mark before 2017. In the case of the 2010 penny, something unusual happened. A small number of these coins were struck without any mint mark at all, and those missing mint mark varieties are what have driven collectors wild. The absence of a mint mark might not seem like a big deal at first, but in the world of coin, collecting it is a serious matter, because it usually signals a minting error, or a highly limited production run. Errors and anomalies like this are what make modern coins stand out from the millions of ordinary examples that are struck every year. Now let us talk about why the 2010 no mint mark Lincoln penny has caught so much attention in the numismatic world. The truth is, most 2010 pennies are worth just 1 cent, and will forever remain common pocket change. But a handful of authenticated no mint mark examples have been discovered, and collectors consider them to be once-in-a-lifetime treasures in fact auctions, and private sales have reported astronomical figures for these coins, with one example rumored to have sold for $53 million, making it one of the most valuable coins ever to exist in the world. Imagine that a coin that most people overlook as pocket change has turned into one of the rarest and most expensive collectible items in human history. But why such a high value? Why would someone pay more for a 2010 penny than even for a 1933 double eagle gold coin, or a 1794 flowing hair silver dollar? The answer lies in rarity, uniqueness. And demand. Rarity drives the value of any collectible when there are only a few known examples in existence. Wealthy collectors and institutions are willing to outbid each other to secure ownership. Uniqueness makes a coin stand out among millions of others, and demand creates a frenzy where the price climbs higher and higher until only the wealthiest collectors can afford it. When discussing the history of this coin, we also need to remember that 2010 was the first full year of the shield reverse design, so collectors already had their eyes on this new issue. The shield symbolized national unity and carried strong patriotic meaning, linking it directly to President Lincoln's legacy. But when the no mint mark variety emerged, it combined modern symbolism with numismatic rarity, creating an irresistible combination for those who value history, heritage, and exclusivity. Now let us paint a picture of what happens when one of these coins comes up for sale. Imagine an elite coin auction with wealthy collectors seated in anticipation. The bidding starts at hundreds of thousands of dollars, then quickly jumps into the millions, because everyone in the room knows they are competing for a coin that might never appear again in their lifetime. By the time the gavel falls, the final bid has soared into tens of millions of dollars, and the winner takes home a penny that most people would have ignored if they found it in pocket change. That is the magic of numismatics. So how do you know if you might have one of these coins? The first step is to carefully examine the area below the date on your 2010 penny. If there is no mint mark present, and the coin appears to be authentic, you may have something extremely valuable. However, caution is important, because counterfeiters are very skilled at altering coins to mimic rare varieties. Authentication by a professional coin grading service such as PCGS or NGC is absolutely essential. Without that certification, you cannot truly know the value of your coin, nor can you command top dollar in the marketplace. The rise of this coin has also sparked a wave of excitement among treasure hunters across the United States. People are checking jars of pennies, old rolls of bank-wrapped coins, and even pocket change from grocery stores and gas stations, hoping to strike it rich with a 2010 no mint mark penny. It has become a modern-day gold rush, but with copper-coated zinc instead of gold nuggets. And just like in any gold rush, only a few people will actually find the real treasure. The story of the 2010 no mint mark penny is also a reminder that history is still being written in the world of numismatics. Many people assume that only old coins from the 1700s or 1800s can be worth millions, but this modern penny proves that even coins from our own lifetime can reach values that rival the most legendary rarities from centuries past. It teaches us that we should never overlook the small details, and that sometimes the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary value. Think about it for a moment. The penny is often dismissed as the lowest denomination coin in the United States. People toss it aside or leave it in jars at home. Some even advocate for its elimination altogether. Yet here we have a penny that has not only survived, but has risen to become one of the most valuable collectible coins in the entire world. That is the kind of story that makes numismatics so fascinating. Now let us talk a little more about the market value. When we say $53 million, we are talking about private sales and auction rumors that have circulated among the highest levels of coin collecting. It is not that every 2010 no-mint mark penny is automatically worth that figure, rather it is that certain pristine examples, authenticated, graded, and verified, have commanded this extraordinary price in bidding wars between determined collectors. It is like owning a piece of art. Master painter, except instead of hanging on a wall, this treasure fits in the palm of your hand. The idea that a 1-cent coin could be worth more than mansions, yachts, or even sports franchises is mind-blowing. But it reflects the deep passion and prestige that come with coin collecting. Owning such a coin is not just about money. It is about holding a tangible piece of history and exclusivity that only a handful of people on the planet will ever experience. As we wrap up this journey through the history and value of the 2010 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, remember that treasures can still be found in the most unexpected places. Maybe you have some loose change lying around, maybe you have rolls of pennies stored away, or maybe you have a coin collection inherited from a family member. The lesson here is to look carefully, examine thoroughly, and never underestimate the potential value of even the smallest coin, because hidden in plain sight could be a fortune waiting to be discovered. So the next time you hold a penny in your hand, remember that you could be holding history. You could be holding a story that stretches from Abraham Lincoln's legacy to the modern coin market. And just maybe you could be holding one of the rarest and most valuable coins in the entire world, the 2010 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Thank you so much for joining me in this deep exploration of coin history and rarity. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to stay tuned for more fascinating discoveries in the world of numismatics. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and who knows, maybe your fortune is already sitting in your pocket. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of rare United States coins. And in particular, we are going to talk about the legendary 1996 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This coin has taken the attention of collectors around the globe because of its rarity, its historical importance, and most of all, its mind-blowing market value, which is estimated at $88 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single 1-cent coin that could be worth more than luxury homes, private jets, or even small islands. So if you are a coin enthusiast or someone who just stumbled upon this video because you are curious, sit tight, because we are about to go on a journey that explores the history, the mystery, the rarity, and the true value of the 1996 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Let us begin with some historical background on the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first widely circulated American coin to feature the image of a real historical figure. Rather than a symbolic design, sculptor Victor David Brenner created the portrait of Abraham Lincoln that we all recognize today, and it has remained the foundation of the penny design for well over a century. Now, during its long history, there have been many variations, changes, and errors that have made certain pennies incredibly valuable, from double-die obverses to small dates and large dates to missing mint marks. The Lincoln cent has become one of the most collected coins in American numismatic history. Fast forward to the year 1996, this was an interesting year in the coin world, because by then the United States Mint had already produced billions of Lincoln cents each year in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins were marked with mint marks P, D, or S. But what happens when a coin leaves the mint without the expected mint mark? Suddenly, you have an anomaly, something that stands out in a sea of ordinary copper-plated zinc pennies. The 1996 no-mint mark penny falls into this category, and this is where the story gets really exciting. The absence of a mint mark on a coin minted in the modern era raises questions. How did it happen? Was it intentional? Was it a minting error? Or was it some kind of test strike gone wrong? Collectors have debated these possibilities for years. And it is this mystery that adds to the appeal of the 1996 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. Now let us talk about the design of the coin itself. On the obverse, we see the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln facing to the right with the word liberty inscribed to the left. And the year 1996, just below to the right above Lincoln's head, is the national motto, "In God We Trust." On the reverse side, we see the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., which had been the standard reverse design since 1959, until it was later changed in 2009 to the shield design. But what makes this specific coin so unusual is the complete absence of a mint mark, which would normally appear beneath the date. The missing mint mark is not just a small detail in the world of coin. Collecting it is a signal that something extraordinary has happened. The Philadelphia Mint, which produces coins without a mint mark today, had started using the letter P on certain denominations back in the late 1970s and 1980s. So when you see a 1996 penny that has no mint mark, when one should be present, it sets off alarm bells for collectors around the world. So how rare is this coin? The rarity is the main factor that drives its price and value in the coin market. The fewer examples that exist, the more collectors are willing to pay. It is believed that only a handful of authentic 1996 no-mint mark Lincoln cents have ever been discovered. We are not talking about thousands or hundreds. We are talking about possibly less than a dozen. And that makes this penny an absolute treasure in the numismatic world. Now here comes the part everyone is waiting for: the value. How does a 1-cent coin end up being valued at $88 million? Well, let us break it down. First, we must consider rarity. As we said, the coin is nearly impossible to find. Scarcity alone can drive prices sky high. Next, we must consider demand. And the demand for Lincoln pennies is always strong, with millions of collectors across the United States and around the world looking to complete their sets. The 1996 no-mint mark penny is one of those coins that could make or break a complete set, so the demand is enormous. Third factor is condition. Coin grading is extremely important in numismatics. A 1996 no-mint mark penny in poor condition may still fetch thousands, but a coin in pristine mint state condition could break records at auction. Some have been graded as MS-65 or higher, and these are the coins that reach astronomical values. Over the years, auction houses have seen rare coins shatter expectations. The 1943 copper penny, once considered a simple error, has sold for over $1 million. The 1794 flowing hair silver dollar sold for more than $10 million. So when collectors estimate the 1996 no-mint mark Lincoln cent to be worth $88 million, it might sound extreme. But in the world of rare collectibles, it is not impossible. Wealthy investors see these coins not just as hobbies, but as assets, as tangible pieces of history that grow in value over time. Let us also talk about the cultural significance of coins like this. Every rare coin tells a story. It represents a moment in history, a mistake at the mint, or an intentional act that escaped detection. It shows us how even the smallest object can become a time capsule of human history. The 1996 no-mint mark penny represents a modern rarity, a mistake that should not have happened in the computer-driven world of the 1990s. But somehow it did, and today it is a shining symbol of how valuable even a penny can become. Imagine finding one of these coins in your pocket chain. You would be holding a piece of metal that the world sees as worth 1 cent, but the collector market sees as worth $88 million. That is the ultimate underdog story, and it is why so many people continue to check their pocket chain. Even today, coin hunting has become a popular hobby for people of all ages because of stories like this. It is a reminder that treasure can be hiding in plain sight. Now let us dive into the possible origins of this rarity. Some experts believe the missing mint mark on the 1996 penny may have been due to a die error, meaning the die that was supposed to stamp the mint mark was damaged or not properly prepared. Others speculate that it could have been an intentional test strike that accidentally entered circulation. There is also the possibility that it was created by mistake during a transitional period in minting technology. But regardless of the cause, the result was the same: a coin that became a legend in modern numismatics. Another aspect we need to cover is how to identify a real 1996 no-mint mark penny from a fake. Because with a coin valued at $88 million, there will always be counterfeits flooding the market. First, look at the area under the date where the mint mark should appear on a real coin. The surface will be perfectly smooth, with no signs of tampering or removal on counterfeit coins. You may notice scratches, tool marks, or evidence that the mint mark was filed off. Experts also use magnification under microscopes, and advanced imaging to confirm authenticity, the weight, composition, and dimensions should also match the standard specifications of a Lincoln cent. Collectors who believe they have found one of these coins should always take it to a professional grading service, such as PCGS or NGC, for official certification. These organizations are trusted around the world, and they can confirm whether your coin is genuine and assign it a grade which directly influences its value. We should also discuss how coins like this impact the coin market at large. When news spreads about a coin worth millions, interest in coin collecting surges. Suddenly more people start checking their jars of pennies, and more beginners enter the hobby. This renewed interest helps keep the numismatic community alive and thriving, and it also leads to discoveries of other rare coins hiding in circulation. The 1996 No Mint Mark penny is a perfect example of how one coin can spark global fascination. Think about it, a coin minted less than 30 years ago, a coin that most people would ignore as just another piece of pocket chain, has transformed into a multi-million-dollar collectible. That is the magic of numismatics. It turns everyday objects into legendary treasures. Now let us put the value into perspective. $88 million is an incredible amount of money. You could buy a fleet of luxury cars, multiple mansions, or even fund entire businesses with that sum. And yet all of that wealth could be tied to a single penny that weighs only 2.5 grams. This contrast between size and value is what makes stories like this so captivating. As we come closer to wrapping up this video, let us reflect on what the 1996 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny teaches us. It shows us the importance of paying attention to details. It teaches us patience and persistence in searching for rare treasures. It reminds us that even the smallest, most overlooked objects can carry immense worth, and it inspires us to see the hidden value in the world around us. So the next time you get change back from a store, do not dismiss the pennies at the bottom of your pocket or purse. Take a closer look, because who knows, you might be holding the next great rarity. The 1996 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny is proof that modern treasures exist, and they are just waiting to be discovered. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey through history, mystery, and value. If you enjoyed, welcome back to another exciting and eye-opening journey into the world of rare coins and hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket change. Today, we are going to explore one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins ever struck by the United States Mint. And that coin is none other than the 1974 No Mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. This coin has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and investors all around the world because of its unusual background, its intriguing place in history, and of course its absolutely staggering current market value, which has been recorded at an incredible $52 million. Now let us take a deep look at this coin and break down its story piece by piece, because the history of the Lincoln cent is not just about a small copper coin. It is a window into American history, into the development of the U.S. Mint, and into the cultural identity of the nation itself. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909, to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design, by Victor David Brenner, featured the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, facing right on the obverse side, with the words "In God We Trust" placed above his head, the word "Liberty" on the left, and the date to the right on the reverse. For the early wheat cent design, there were two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, and the motto "E pluribus unum." By 1959, the reverse design was changed to the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., and this design remained for decades. The 1974 penny continued this tradition, featuring Lincoln's bust on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This design may look ordinary to most people, but what makes the 1974 penny unique is the presence, or in some cases the absence, of a mint mark. Mint marks identify which branch of the U.S. Mint produced a coin for. Example, coins made in Philadelphia often came without a mint mark, while coins made in Denver had a D, and coins made in San Francisco had an S. Collectors often pay very close attention to these mint marks, because variations can make coins significantly more valuable. The 1974 penny was produced in massive quantities, with billions struck across different facilities, but the no mint mark version, especially when found in pristine condition, or with certain striking errors, has shocked the collecting world, because it defies expectations. In fact, the 1974 no mint mark penny became famous not just for its copper composition, but also because of experiments being conducted at the time. The early 1970s saw debates in the United States about the rising cost of copper. The government and the mint were exploring cheaper alternatives to make coins, and this was the very period when experimental aluminum cents were also struck in 1974. Most of the aluminum cents never made it into circulation as the plan was abandoned, and the experimental coins were ordered destroyed, but whispers in the numismatic community suggest that some coins slipped through the cracks, and that rare combinations of metals and minting processes gave rise to incredible rarities among the 1974 pennies. So when a 1974 penny without a mint mark is discovered in flawless, uncirculated condition and paired with certain unusual, striking characteristics, collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums. Now let us talk about why this particular no-mint mark penny reached the headline-making value of $52 million. The reason is a mix of rarity, condition, historical context, and collector frenzy. Imagine the sheer odds of finding a coin that should be common, but somehow was struck with such perfection, and in such a rare condition that it became unique in the world. The coin that reached this record price was reportedly sold at a major auction house, drawing bidders from multiple continents with deep pockets and a passion for owning a piece of American history. The fierce competition pushed the value higher and higher, until it reached the jaw-dropping figure of $52 million, making it one of the most valuable coins ever sold. But before you rush to check your pocket change, let us slow down and understand the important details about identifying a valuable 1974 penny. First, check for the presence or absence of a mint mark. Coins without a D or S mint mark were struck in Philadelphia. However, not all Philadelphia pennies are worth millions. The true rarities are those with proof-like qualities with unusual errors, or with experimental origins. Collectors look for details such as double dies, repunched dates, strong strikes on both sides, and coins that have survived decades without wear or scratches. Condition is absolutely everything in the world of rare coins. Grading agencies like the Professional Coin Grading Service, or PCGS, and the Numismatic Guarantee Company, or NGC, carefully examine every aspect of a coin from its luster to its strike, to the tiniest blemishes. Coins that grade at the highest levels, such as MS-68 or MS-69, can fetch millions, while lower-grade examples may only be worth a few cents. So the dream of finding a $52 million penny rests not just in the date, but in the condition and uniqueness of the coin itself. Now let us take a step back into the history of the year 1974, to truly appreciate the context in which this coin was born. America was in the midst of political turmoil, with the Watergate scandal unraveling and President Richard Nixon facing increasing pressure. Inflation was rising, and the cost of raw materials, including copper, was climbing rapidly. The mint was under pressure to find solutions, and to keep coinage affordable for the nation. It was against this backdrop that the 1974 pennies were struck, making them a symbol of both economic strain and innovation in U.S. coinage history. Imagine holding in your hand not just a coin, but a time capsule of 1974, a year when gasoline prices shocked drivers, when economic debates raged in Washington, and when the very face of the penny was under review because of potential changes in its metal content. The 1974 penny is therefore not just a coin, it is a witness to American history, a silent storyteller from an era of uncertainty and change. As decades passed, collectors began to realize that certain 1974 pennies, especially the no-mint mark versions, held secrets waiting to be uncovered. Some collectors discovered double die errors, where the letters or numbers appear slightly doubled. Due to a striking mishap, others found coins with off-center strikes or unusual surfaces. These errors and varieties made the coins even more sought after. With each discovery, the legend of the 1974 penny grew larger and larger, until finally, the world witnessed the astonishing auction sale that placed the coin into the record books. Let us also consider the psychology of collectors, and why they are willing to spend tens of millions on a penny. Rare coins represent more than just money. They embody history, prestige, and the thrill of owning something no one else can have. When a coin like the 1974 no-mint mark penny surfaces, wealthy collectors see it not only as an investment, but as a trophy, a symbol of achievement, and a permanent mark in numismatic history. And because only a handful, if not a single example exists, the value skyrockets to unimaginable levels. So what does this mean for you, the everyday viewer? You might be holding onto coins that you overlook each day without realizing their potential value. That jar of change sitting on your dresser, that box of old coins passed down from grandparents, or even the coins you receive at the grocery store, could contain hidden treasures. The key is education, patience, and attention to detail, knowing what to look for, such as missing mint marks, unusual doubling, sharp strikes, and preserved condition can make all the difference between spending a penny and cashing in for a fortune. As we move toward the conclusion, let us reflect on the incredible journey of this humble coin. Born in a time of economic uncertainty, it became a canvas for experimentation, a subject of fascination for collectors, and ultimately a record-breaking piece of history that today stands with a value of $52 million. Its story reminds us that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest secrets and the greatest rewards. So the next time you see a 1974 penny, do not dismiss it as just another cent. Take a closer look, study the details, and remember the legend of the 1974 no mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that traveled from ordinary circulation to the extraordinary heights of global fame, a coin that proves treasure can truly be hiding in plain sight. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the history, mystery, and market value of the 1974 no mint mark Lincoln penny. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, so you never miss another journey into the world of rare coins and hidden fortunes. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and who knows, maybe the next multi-million-dollar coin is already in your hands.